pranayama. This word in Sanskrit is prana and ayama, meaning our vital force, our potential energy, and our ability to regulate it. A conscious act of already innate unconscious entity, prana, which we have within us and without us. Also known as just like breath work, breathing exercises. There is a distinction between pranayama and breathing exercises, or even breathing ayama. It's not the regulation of breath, it's the cultivation of a sensitivity of sensation, of our emotional body. Okay, so really quick, we have 5 bodies, the physical body, the energy, the mind, the beliefs, and this kind of what they call bliss body, Anandamaya Kosha. And who am I as an authority to talk about Anandamaya Kosha? Just know that it is a 5th entity, and there is yet a 6th, which is the observation of these 5. Okay, the witness. But thinking about the first 3 or 4, which are pretty tangible to people, you know, our physical body. Let's skip the energy for now and go to the mind. We have a mind and a body. And most people acknowledge that. Now, you could think of conscious body, or conscious mind, rather, and unconscious mind, or subconscious. Even deeper than that, I specifically referring to the belief patterns, the, you know, kind of sentences or statements running around in our head. Subconscious, meaning like we put them there intentionally, or we want them, and some that were put there. So that's the unconscious mind. Beliefs, mind, physical body. But there's this communication between the mind and the beliefs, which could be part of mind. You could just kind of call that mind. These all have Sanskrit terms, Annamaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha, so on. And so it's kind of a Vedic take on this. But you could think of it as just beliefs and conscious mind as just mind. All right, so mind, body, their communication. Yes, it's the nervous system. Yes, it's the automatic, you know, with the brainstem controls, the endocrine system, the innate immune system, even the heart rate, the blinking, breathing. See, because breathing is an easy gateway into blinking and heart rate and little tiny contractions like with the toes and fingers, with the tongue, and deeper and deeper into your physiology, into your genetics even. But, you know, again, who am I to really talk about how deep it is to go? So now the regulation of pranayama, and breathing exercises, we don't really need, there is a distinction, but for now, just think of it as breathing, because there are tangible, absolute physiological responses to controlled breathing, and this is the subject of this video, is uncontrolled versus controlled breathing. And it's a spectrum. It's not, the polarity is in the 2 ends, and the rhythm, the law of rhythm, is the polarity between the 2, and so we need to experience it all. And this isn't a shunning of anything. I love them all. Breathing is actually my number one, this is just a little fact on Chris, my number one, what do they call it, motivation in life is that which clarifies my breathing. That I love breathing through my nose, my mouth, but especially my nose, and I do like this sense of smell too. So that's just a little aside. Okay, so unregulated breath would be like that'd be like an uncontrolled pranayama, or even through the nose. Now, it's easy to distinguish what that is compared with controlled. So if you didn't tell, it was a 10 count inhale, 10 count exhale, or whatever your count, it was the same duration inhale, exhale. It's controlled in that way. Controlled by the mind. Now there's a spectrum in between, and I'm not an authority on all the there's so many, you can create so many patterns in the mouth, out the nose, in the nose, out the nose, in the nose, out the mouth, in the ears, out the butthole. I don't know. There is actually kriyas where you swallow air several times until you fart it out, basically, to clean your entire tract. The most I've done is really just swallowing air and retaining that. It's a kind of mudra that BNS showed me that I don't have on my YouTube. You know, I don't have them all. I can't give them all away. But That's a pretty interesting one. Anyway, I'm getting off track. Let's come back to track. Uncontrolled versus controlled pranayama. Now, for the layman, it is just breathing, bringing your mind to your breath, being aware of how long am I breathing in, how long am I breathing out. Me personally, I'm authorized to teach the Ashtanga Pranayama primary series as taught by BNS Iyengar, which is a completely controlled breath sequence, with the exception of Bhastrika, which I may or may not show this weekend. I'm teaching in Delray, and the pranayama event will be 2 controlled pranayama, one which does not require both nostrils to be open, but will help us to open nostrils in case people would like to try the second pranayama. I'm not naming them right now, but that would be an alternating nostril variation. And for the beginner, someone that has not or doesn't have a context for pranayama, they just think of it as breathing. I'm sitting in a pose and I'm breathing. It will give you immense calm, relieve anxiety. It oxidizes very well the body, and therefore it alkalizes the body, which allows the neural pathways to be reprogrammed more efficiently and more permanently. So we create a space, an environment of comfort where other people are doing the same thing we are, and so we feel that community. And then we learn ways to breathe. Ways to just be a little more aware of what parts of the body I'm using to breathe. Like pushing the diaphragm down will push the belly out if the abdominal muscles are relaxed, which will pull apart the tissues at the base of the lungs, where there happen to be certain kinds of nerve receptors, and I have to research to find the name again. Once you read it so many times, I just take it as fact, but I don't have the name of the nerve. But trust me, although Brian Casella would say to never say trust me, I'm going to have to look it up and tag it in the comments below. Look below and I'll make sure I have the name of that kind of nerve that, when it's stimulated at the base of the lungs, triggers certain release of chemicals that calm us down. It lowers our heart rate. So an abdominal breath tends to lower our heart rate and relieve anxiety. That's the layman. For the layman, just take a pranayama, breath work, or whatever kind. Be cautious though, because now you understand uncontrolled versus controlled. Controlled is much gentler. It won't give you as intense of a sensation. In the intensity is a depth of consciousness we can reach, but for the untrained mind, that can be disturbing, destabilizing. Not for everyone. Some people can handle it, and some people like the thrill of it. And the thrill, it's very thrilling, for sure. You know, if you take an uncontrolled pranayama thing, your hands might start crippling up, and your tongue will get really dry, and you'll feel intense, cool sensations in the base of your brain stem, essentially deep into your neck. With the controlled pranayama, it's not that intense. It's more of a lighter glow, a lighter sensation, but distributed throughout the body. And it's a slower gradient. You could say it's a lower gradient, and but it's a great facilitator for meditation because of the intention, how much attention is required to keep count and do things like that. It really focuses the mind. So that's my take on pranayama, and I have a podcast on Fridays with Rosh Zapar Di Bazar, and that's at 11:30 Pacific and 2:30 Eastern. So definitely tune in to that. I'll put the information in the link below. And I have an online training program Saturdays 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. It is recorded, and we go deep into pranayama meditation and certain yoga therapeutics that are for all levels, because fitness-wise, we're all capable at different levels. So it's not about that. That would require private instruction. But for the program, this is everybody that has the thinking capability enough to, and the mobility of the hands enough to click and type and sign up for the program. This is for you. So blessings, namaste, Yoga Chris out.